In the studio. Hi there, Matthew.
Hello, Catherine.
We're starting off with the markets and a good day for companies involved in the baby business in China.
Yes, that's right. Now, late on Friday, the Chinese government gave some details of various policy changes. One of those was a relaxing of this one baby policy. It's not being completely abandoned, but it's being changed. Now, here's the reaction from the markets, which they're getting their first chance. And look at both the Hang Seng and the Shanghai Composite, both are up well over 2%. And particularly, we're seeing companies that are involved in making anything to do with children, so baby formula, pushchairs, strollers, that kind of thing, are all doing pretty well. Not surprisingly, because they're expecting there to be more babies around. Good Baby International, for example, that's a Hong Kong-based company, up 5% this morning.
Expecting a baby boom.
That's right, a definite baby boom. They're also liking the fact there are reforms, for example, relaxing restrictions on investment as well, other things as well, which are more market-oriented. So that's what we're seeing going on there in Asia this morning.
Okay, aircraft makers having what we can term a pretty successful first day at the Dubai Air Show.
Yes, Dubai Air Show going very well on its first day. In fact, record number of orders, $162 billion worth of orders. Boeing doing slightly better than Airbus. Well, I shouldn't say slightly. In fact, they did about double the business that Airbus did on the first day. Now, this is all coming from these airlines. You can see there Qatar Airways, Etihad, that's based in Abu Dhabi, and also Emirates Airline, which is based in Dubai. Now, as I said, Boeing far ahead, and it's particularly this plane, the 777 777X, that's doing well. It's designed to carry 350 to 400 people, and it's sometimes called the mini jumbo market. They compete against Airbus, the A350 on that. Let's have a look at the numbers of orders that we've seen just in one day coming for them, and you can see that Boeing doing better. This is numbers of planes as opposed to the value of those planes. But Airbus getting a slice of the pie as well from these three airlines. So nothing to be ashamed of for them as well. Well, these three big spending airlines have all been created in the last 30 years. So what's been driving their huge growth? Well, Siobhan Silk has been taking a look.
The Dubai Air Show means big jets and big deals. The record-breaking orders from Qatar Airways, Emirates and Etihad are part of a joint push by the state-owned carriers to turn the Gulf into the world's most important aviation hub. Passenger numbers at Abu Dhabi International and Dubai's second airport Al Maktoum are soaring. Both airports have seen double-digit growth in 2013. And earlier this year, the region's main hub, Dubai International, took over Paris's Charles de Gaulle as the world's second busiest airport by international passengers. In September, 5.4 million travellers passed through the hub. Only London's Heathrow is ahead, but Dubai has it within its sights. Traffic has more than doubled in 8 years and is outpacing projections. The airport's expanded capacity includes a concourse built especially to handle the Airbus A380 Super Jumbo, but it's not ignoring the budget sector. It's the home of low-cost carrier Fly Dubai, which entered the market 5 years ago. As well as building capacity with their own airlines, the Gulf states are working to attract foreign carriers. The region is geographically well placed as a way station between East and West. The next step is the development of world-class logistics and maintenance facilities to give airlines even more reason to choose Dubai as a hub.
All right, still talking about sales, but back here in France, Matthew, and a long-running wine auction also hit a new record in terms of sales, didn't it?
Record. It's the record sales business bulletin today. Now, this is, as you say, long-running, 150 years. In fact, it's called the Hospices de Beaune wine sales. Now, they sell wine from about 150 acres that they own. It's in the Burgundy region of France. Now, it's not only a important historical event, it also gives a good sense of what's really going on in the wine market. And what we've seen this time are prices increasing. Now, that's not just due to there being more demand, it's also down to the fact that in fact there's less supply of wine this year, and that's because we've had some very difficult growing conditions for winemakers. Let's take a listen to the director of this sale.
5 or 6 barrels of a Grand Cru in the whole world, that is nothing. So if someone wants it, there's of course going to be competition and the price goes up. You need to get out the euros or the yuan or the dollars.
That's very interesting in business terms, but I have to say it's a little early for me to talk about wine, Matthew.
Thank
Thank you very much, Matthew Warren there with the business news here on France 24. Time now to catch up with everything that's been happening online. It's Web News.
Today on the net, reactions to China's reform roadmap. Controversy over a new Lebanese banknote marking 70 years of independence. And a photographer mocking some of the bizarre laws still in force in the US. A 60-point roadmap detailing plans ranging from opening up the banking sector to reducing the number of crimes subject to the death penalty. The Chinese government announced the ambitious economic and social reforms at the end of the Communist Party's third plenum, setting social networks abuzz. One of the measures drawing the most commentary, the loosening of the one-child policy. Couples in which one member is an only child will be allowed to have 2 children. But a lot of web users are saying they wouldn't be able to afford to bring up an additional child because of the growing cost of living in big cities. Another top talking point, the abolition of the re-education through labour detention system. News which has raised high hopes for human rights activists who have been campaigning for years to convince the government to scrap these camps. Some are less enthusiastic, however, and point out there are still other arbitrary detention centres in use in China. Chinese bloggers are also worried about Beijing's announcement of tighter government control over the internet, which it sees as a threat to the country's stability. Since taking office, Xi Jinping and his new Chinese government have been stepping up measures to tighten the reins on the web's opinion leaders. And the latest victim of censorship, Zhang Qiangfeng, a constitutional law professor at Beijing University. His blogs and social network accounts were shut down after he published an article urging the government to speed up the democratic process. Lebanon is to issue 50,000 commemorative £50,000 notes, which will go into circulation on November 22nd to mark its 70 years of independence. The new notes were unveiled to the public last week, but soon became the subject of much ridicule. Why? Well, there's a spelling mistake. The French language face of the banknote spells independence as it's written in English, so with an E rather than an A. People across Lebanon have taken social networks in their droves, stunned at such a slip-up. Some, like this Twitter user, have posted comical commentary. This post imagines what Lebanon's new £100,000 note will look like, with a somewhat sloppy spelling of banque, the French word for bank. So while some Lebanese web users find the blunder amusing, others are less than impressed and can't make light of it. The author of this article, published on libnanews.com, slams what she describes as an unacceptable error, wondering how no one spotted the spelling mistake before the banknote went to print. This blogger shares a similar point of view and urges the Bank of Lebanon to print new notes before the country's anniversary of independence on November 22nd. But it's highly unlikely this will happen. The central bank's governor, Riyad Salameh, recently announced the famous banknotes would be going into circulation regardless. He thinks the spelling mistake will make them all the more popular, with currency collectors in particular. The German government started unveiling a new website, lostart.de, last Monday, a platform that will provide detailed descriptions of over 1,400 art treasures stolen by Nazis and recovered in Munich last year. 20 pieces, including paintings from Marc Chagall and Henri Matisse, have been catalogued so far, and others will soon follow. The aim is to speed up the investigation process and return the works to their rightful owners. American photographer Olivia Locker has produced a collection of photos called I Fought the Law, to poke fun at some of the ridiculous laws still in place in various US states. In Alabama, for example, it's illegal to have an ice cream cone in your back pocket. And in California, riding a bicycle in a swimming pool is strictly forbidden. You can check out the entire collection on the artist's website. Traffic on a highway, planes and helicopters at an airport, skiers on a mountain. This is a study of movement, of comings and goings, and it's all produced in paper. It's the work of Danish artist Pingo van der Brinklove, who has become a master in the art of paper folding. The video, entitled It's Paper, is available to view on Vimeo.
All right, more news coming up very soon here on Live from Paris. We'll be back at hour. Just a reminder, though, our top story that the former French hostage Francis Collin is home after he made a daring escape, getting away from his kidnappers in northern Nigeria. He's landed back in France now this Monday morning. Stay tuned, more coming up soon on Live from Paris.